Secretary, please call the roll.
Honorable Mark Philip Ramirez, Honorable Edwin Mintu, Honorable Edwin Mintu, Honorable Antonio Cerebong III, Honorable Emmanuel Abeleda Jr., Honorable Nestor Tria, Honorable Nestor Tria, Honorable Anisita Diana Tayag,
Present.
Honorable Sonia Pablo, Honorable Michelle Rivera,
Present.
Honorable Ernesto Haravata, Honorable Ernesto Haravata, Honorable Eleanor Fajardo, Honorable Eleanor Fajardo, Honorable Diosdado Bayawa, Honorable Diosdado Bayawa, Honorable Abelardo Pangilinan,
Present.
Honorable Abelardo Pangilinan, Honorable Juanito Lumawig, Honorable Juanito Lumawig, Honorable Tricia K. Fabic, Honorable Tricia K. Fabic. We have 7 present, including the presiding officer, Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Chair, we don't have a quorum.
Okay. The committee hearing is here. And the secretariat is requested to notify other members, and those who will participate online, please give Zoom link for other members to be able to participate online. Tricia. The Committee of the Whole sa
Mr. Chair,
hereby resumed.
with the provincial SK President online,
The SK President is present, Madam Secretary.
I certify presence of a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Okay, with 8 members, with 7 physically present and 1 participating online, the Chair declares presence of quorum. Okay. Bukal Sonia Pablo, the Chairman, Committee on Finance. Before that, Secretary, please acknowledge resource persons present this morning for the record.
For the presence of the offices, for the appearances for today, we have the Provincial Legal Officer, Attorney Agustus Abiledo II of the Provincial Legal Department, and also Dr. Christopher Son Gonzalez of the Provet. The Local Finance Committee present are Budget Manuel Tria Jr., Accountant Oscar Gallego, PPDC Anthony Dantes, and the staff from Leanne Orcas from PPDO.
So we acknowledge our resource persons this morning. Bukal Sonia Pablo.
Good morning, Mr. Honorable Presiding Officer, and to all my esteemed colleagues. As per request of the Provincial Administrator, we move the schedule for the deliberation of the office budget of the Provincial Legal Officer and the Provincial Veterinarian from January 5 to today, January 11, the same time, for the reasons given by the PA through her letter. But today, for our new schedule, we have the presence of the Provincial Legal Officer and the Provincial Veterinarian, and also the members of the LFC as scheduled,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
But before we proceed with the details of the discussion on the proposed budget for the said offices, how about we, in as much as the provincial budget officer is around, how about we make some clarifications on the legislative authorization passed by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan on the reenacted budget, and to assure that the intention of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan that the operations of the provincial government will not be hampered while the Sangguniang Panlalawigan is deliberating on the Committee of the Whole, the proposed 2021 annual executive budget.
Okay, Mr. Chair, just to refresh what happened during the last session, because the LFC were not present at the time, the chairman of the Committee on Finance moved to authorize the utilization of the 2020 budget. move to authorize the utilization of the 2020 budget while the Sangguniang is not yet able to pass a new appropriation ordinance just to avoid or just as not to hamper the operation of the provincial government. This is based on Section 323 of the Local Government Code, Republic Act 7160, which says there that only salaries and wages of existing positions, statutory and contractual obligations, essential operating expenses are allowed under that resolution. And in fact, before that, I researched on what are included in essential operating expenses. And I was able to get a copy of a letter of Mayor Felix C. of the municipality of Banchuyod, province of Negros Oriental, which also asked, who asked if job order engagement were authorized in the annual, if job orders are authorized under a reenacted budget. And according to the DILG opinion number 31 series of 2019, this is the latest, but previous to that, meron na ring mga opinions, no, and pareho rin. It affirmed that the salaries of those under job order engagement are authorized in the annual and supplemental budgets in the preceding budget year. So meaning to say, the regular appropriation for JOs and contractuals are allowed under a reenacted budget. Plus, it is very clear, even the supplemental budget of the preceding year pertaining to the JOs and contractuals. So, yun po ang kaganapan na Mr. Presiding Officer. And I was just, there's so many comments and opinions pag nagbabasa ka lang sa SOCMED, na the amount appropriated last year, especially in the regular appropriation, were not enough to support the number of JOs that were hired. And in fact, it is imperative that the provincial government will not rehire some JOs. But it is the position of the chairman of the Committee on Finance that this is a premature move, considering that they were saying that the budget for the JOs is budgeted from January to December. But if you check on our budget, 6 months lang ang ina-approve natin for the JOs.
Can we clarify that with the budget officer, whether the annual appropriation, what was passed for the job order and contractual are based on a 12-month computation or 12 months?
Since the budget officer is here, maybe he can answer.
May we be clarified on that?
Sir, hindi ko po na sundan yung tanong ng Honorable Vice.
Ang tanong
6 months, ang annual po is computed for 6 months.
Yung 2020 annual budget po ba natin ay computed for a 6 months wages of our job order or 12 months?
6 months, sir. 6 months
That was also my understanding. And that was a practice not only during this administration, but even during last administrations. That the provincial adopt it as a strategy that we appropriate or allocate salaries or wages of contractual and job order for 6 months. Then comes July or middle of the year, we usually pass a supplemental budget based on the savings, basically on accumulated savings from personal services.
Yes.
Is that what? Is that?
That is
Sir?
correct, sir. That's correct.
So, for the record, Madam Sonia,
Yeah, and
So-
to continue, Mr. Chair, aside from that observation, that the JOs in the regular appropriation for 2020, 6 months lang talaga ang nakabudget. And for the rest of the years, we pass supplemental budget number 2, number 3, and number 4 to provide for the wages of JOs and contractuals. Tama po ba? So for me, there is no reason to resort to mass layoff of our JOs when they are considered to be essential in the operation of an office. So mali po yung kumakalat, no? And plus the fact that remember, ang proposed lang nila is 130 million this year for the local income and a slight increase in the ERA. But remember, 120 million ang inaprubahan ng SP for the local income last year. So the difference is just 10 million. If we maintain the number of JOs na sinasabi nila na kailangan ng operasyon ng provincial government, wala akong nakitang reason para magkaroon ng, again, wala akong makitang reason para mag-mass layoff because the 120 million ay, ang budget natin last year is 1.7 million is enough.
1.7 billion.
1.7 million, I stand corrected, was enough to provide for the wages of about 616 JOs plus the contractuals which I do not know the exact number. Walang na layoff last year, nagdagdag dumami pa nga eh. So, yan na lang ang punto ko. We should not resort to premature pronouncements because we have facts that the situation is
Manageable.
manageable. Yes, Mr. Presiding Officer. So, sana, ang akin lang po, ang pakiusap ko lang, allow the SP to do its functions and duties to review the annual budget of the province.
Thank you. So,
Let the process move. So today, I am satisfied that the executive through the provincial administrator allowed the presence of the two head of offices scheduled for today. Plus, I also read a letter that the provincial engineer who is scheduled this afternoon is not available for a personal emergency.
the chair suggests that we make adjustment to the schedule and so as not to make unnecessary delays. Pwede
Yes.
namang yung PEO ay ma-schedule na lang sa mga susunod na araw, di ba? Baka naman sakali na available na yung provincial engineer. Actually, tumawag din sa akin for the record yung si Engineer Masangkay. At,
We take note of that, Mr. Chair. Ang gusto
At,
nga natin dito ay ma-fast track yung review and deliberation of the annual budget so as not to be accused that we are delaying
Pwede po ba tayong mag-suggest, kung sino yung in lieu of the PEO mamayang hapon, kung sino pwedeng ma-request ng appearance?
Maybe we can have the PACO or the PBO. Short W. Very lang naman ang budget nila.
Accounting and budget office. Para tumakbo lang.
Oo.
Okay. SecJam, paki-notify lang for record purposes and so as to notify the executive that in lieu of the based on the request that the provincial engineer cannot attend, so we will request the appearance of the provincial budget office and the provincial accounting ako or
The,
assessor.
PEO for this afternoon.
In lieu of PEO.
Instead of the provincial engineer's office, we can...
We have PEPO and PASO for the day.
Yeah, but very short lang ang
Para
nila nito. So,
makapagdagdag.
madagdag lang kahit isa.
Maybe we can request GSO.
No, GSO is medyo ano yan,
Paco na lang.
Paco na lang.
Paco. Accountant is here. Uh, is it okay, accountant?
Pako
This
na lang kasi
afternoon
mas
instead.
ano.
Okay, noted. So the Secretariat is requested to communicate or notify the local chief executive through the provincial administrator. We please continue.
And the chief of hospital of Lubang will not be around on January 18 because of the difficulty of travel. So he will be on virtual.
Okay.
So it will be allowed by the committee of the whole. So if it is
Bukal Dayan is recognized.
Opo, thank you. Good morning. Gusto ko lang pong mag-comment for whatever it is worth, no? My 2 cents with what is happening. Malamang naka-agitate talaga sa lahat ang ginawang pagpukpok ng reenacted budget. But then, upon hearing and seeing what happened last session, the budget was reenacted pending the approval of an appropriation ordinance. Konting miscommunication lamang siguro at ang lahat ay natakot, and maybe that is why gumalaw na ang administrator na on her mind is the reenacted budget na ang gagamitin nila for the whole year. But with what is happening now, with the budget hearing going on, lumalakas naman ang loob natin at natutuwa naman tayo. At dyan naman babangon ang Occidental Mindoro sa pagkakaisa ng Sanggunian at ng Executive Office. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you then, at duly noted. The manifestation of the Honorable Tayag is well taken. We please continue, Bukal Sonia.
Provincial Legal Office.
Alphabetical naman.
Asan yung ano?
Alphabetical. Morning, attorney.
Morning. Good morning, distinguished members of the board.
Okay. The chair would like to request the Honorable Philip Ramirez to please temporarily take Hindi. Bababa lang ako. Present naman ako. Attendant lang ako.
Mr. Presiding Officer, can we now give the floor to the Provincial Legal Officer so that he can present his budget for 2021?
Yes, Madam Chair, man. Sige po, attorney.
Good morning, Presiding Officer and distinguished members of the board. On the part of the Provincial Legal Office, our proposed budget for the year 2021 amounts to 4,499,051 pesos and 67 centavos, slightly over the previous year's budget by 90,149 and 11 centavos. The slight increase is mainly due to the main problem of the legal office, which is lack of manpower. So we made an increase in our job order, contractual, and consultancy services. On the other hand, we also eliminated some expenses like training expenses and capital outlay. So that probably explains the slight increase of 90,000 to our proposed budget in the year 2021.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just want to ask our PLO Is it, yung capital outlay po ba, wala po talaga kayong kailangan na capital outlay for the whole year? Or it's just a matter of saying na hindi kayo pinagbigyan ng capital outlay for the budget? Or you would be needing it for the whole year? Paano po? Wala po kayo talagang requirement for capital outlay?
Actually, last year, we have included it in our budget.
Yes po.
However, due to time and time limitations, we were not able to reach the time limit. So this year, it was not included. And moreover, capital outlay is not really a priority in our office,
Okay.
considering the limited space in our office.
Okay. I'm just thinking that since you will be adding job orders or contractuals and consultancy services, probably you will be needing more information and communication equipments for it, or that would be charged to capital outlay. Hindi po ba mangangailangan ng mga computers or yung mga bago nating i-hire na JOs and mga consultants, hindi po nila, or you will be using the existing office equipments and IT equipments?
Yes, that would be ideal, but existing office equipment of the legal office would suffice.
Okay. Noted.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Also niya.
How many JOs ang na-employ ninyo sa office niyo? Ma-propose? Only one?
In the proposed, ma'am, we would like to maintain 4 JOs and 1 contractual yun. Madam.
So this is 4 JOs and 1 contractual plus 1 consultant.
Yes, yes, ma'am, but the consultant
You have an allocation of 210,000 for consultancy.
yes, ma'am, but that was included because really our problem is manpower, and I believe that there were 2 positions for lawyers approved through an ordinance by the Sangguniang, and with our current situation, we need to at least hire 1 consultant, probably a graduate of Bachelor of Laws, that could help us on the technical aspects in the legal office.
Next question. You have a vacant position available. Bakit hindi na-fill up? At wala rin naman kayong proposed for creation. No approved new positions under the submitted budget. Nahanap ko kasi kung meron yung PLO pero wala siya. Those sa mga listed for given budget for 2021. But you have an available vacant position for admin aid 4. So instead of hiring, let's say, contractual or maybe you can request that this will be filled up.
Yes, ma'am, that would be taken into consideration. I would look for some applicants.
Mr. Chair?
Already.
Malaki ba yung office ng PLO?
It's basically a small office.
Saan banda yun? Hindi ko pa nakikita. Ha?
No.
Saan yun?
Dating SP.
Saan yung banda? So if you hire, madagdagan pa ng 5, masikip na kayo.
Yung sa may CR yata.
No, madam, we would be maintaining our current staff.
Yeah, because you are proposing 4 JOs and 1 contractual. So tinatanong ko yung office space ninyo. Kung will it still be comfortable if there is an additional 5 additional manpower of 5? Comfortable pa ba ang legal office?
If it would be an addition, madam, we would not be comfortable. But we are just asking for the to maintain our current setup of having four JOs and one contractor.
So, is there a possibility that once this vacant position is filled up, malilesen ang manpower request ninyo? Ano tawag ito? Augmentation?
Yes, ma'am. But this is only one item.
Isa pang tanong, just in case merong legal ang SP with the executive, ano ang position ng legal officer?
That is the predicament of the legal office, madam, because I am a legal officer of the whole provincial government.
Yeah, I know.
So that every time there is an issue, a legal issue between the executive and the legislative department, of course, we are put in the middle of things. So, as I said, I am the legal officer of the provincial government of Occidental Mindoro.
Middle daw, middle.
Mr. Chair.
Middle. Di ba po tapos?
What was the question, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
If the situation will occur, even if it is just hypothetical, nasaan ngayon ang leaning ng Provincial Legal Office? Because under 7160, the SP cannot hire. If there is a legal officer, a provincial legal officer, he will represent the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, pag executive na ang nasaan ngayon ang leaning ng provincial legal officer?
Ma'am, as a legal officer, we don't have to lean on anyone in this setup, Your Honor. Because as I said, I am the legal officer of the provincial government, not only of the legislative department, but also of the executive department. So in case there are issues between the two departments, I just have to maintain
Your independence.
my independence and of course what I think is right under the law.
Okay. So, it is clear that the Sangguniang Panlalawigan can also make consultations, especially when it comes to legal matters
Of course,
pertaining to the dispensation of their duties to the provincial legal officer.
Of course, madam, because that is provided under the local government code among the duties and functions of the legal officer.
Even if it runs counter with the previous stand of the legal officer?
What do you mean, ma'am? Stand of the previous...
There were issues in the Sangguniang Panlalawigan that were referred for the opinion of the legal officer, especially when that issue is related to the functions of the executive. Marami na yung instances and you were able to render some opinions, of course, basing on what are the available informations. So, yun ang tanong ko lang.
Ma'am, the question is, can I provide opinion?
Yeah, even if it runs counter to the previous stand or the previous...
Stand
Yeah.
of the legal officer?
Yes.
Probably so, madam, because that's just an opinion. It's not conclusive. I think so, madam. Just like in the case of the boundary dispute between the Occidental and Oriental Mindoro, I rendered an opinion based on what I believe is right under the law. And I do not know whether I render contrary opinion to that of the previous legal officer, madam.
Thank you very much for that
Mr. Chair.
sincere
Thank you.
reply,
Well then.
Attorney Gus. Those are hypothetical. As I would like to mention that it is just a hypothetical question. So, you answered well, and I am satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Well then.
Okay, thank you. Ako naman, for the record, gusto kong pasalamatan ang ating provincial legal officer. Kasi sa totoo lang, open naman ang line of communication natin and hingi ako ng mga legal opinions regarding sa mga usapin, lalo na sa mga usapin na pumapasok sa committee ko. And very helpful naman siya. And baka pwedeng hayaan na rin naman natin siya na magplano kung ilan ang JOs, kung ilan ang mga i-hire niya. Let us give him the freedom. I think sila ang mas nakakaalam kung paano niya mapapatakbo ng maayos ang kanyang opisina. And then, narinig ko kanina, query lang po, Attorney Gas, talaga bang bawal na kumuha pa ng legal counsel ang SP dahil na andyan ka na po? Ano ba yung RA 7160 na narinig ko kanina? Kasi may mga kaibigan din po akong bukal sa ibang lalawigan. According to them, talagang ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan nila may battery of lawyers and battery of accountants. Battery. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang po iisa. Oo.
So the question is kung bawal po mag-hire ng lawyers ang Sanggunian.
Parang may nasabi bang ganun kanina? Parang may narinig ako na nasabi di Bukal Sonia, sabi niya, di ba tita?
Oo, kasi
Sabi
master
niya,
is the
bawal na
provincial
raw.
legal officer. Kasi siya
Ang
ang
SP.
represent ng all whatever na issues legally ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan and the rest. Di ba? Nasa provision yan eh.
Kaya gusto ko pong tanungin kung bawal na ba talaga kaming mag-hire ng legal attorneys or legal counsel ng SP dahil nahandyaan ka na?
No, ang ina natin yun
Ano po?
is to represent. Pag consultancy, walang problema, di ba? We can hire batteries of lawyers siguro pag consultancy service. But when you represent, but sa korte siguro, pag representation na sa when the legal officer is available, ibig sabihin may position na legal officer, the legal officer is will represent the SP. Tama po ba yan, Attorney Gas?
I think we have to make some definition of functions. As a legal officer, I am also under the duty to give services to the legislative department, to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, by way of giving legal opinion when asked to do so, and other services that may be asked by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. But as to the question of whether the Sangguniang Panlalawigan as a department can hire lawyers on its own, I believe so. It can hire lawyers on its own, considering that the main function of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan is to make laws, to make ordinances. And it is not, the reality is, in the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, we only have one lawyer. And it would be difficult to enact ordinances, pass resolutions, without at least a lawyer to assist us in that function. So I believe if the Sangguniang Panlalawigan would like to hire, for example, consultants as lawyers, they may do so.
So, hindi totoo yung RA 7160 na puprohibit na kami dahil nandiyan ka na?
What's
I mean,
the
naside kanina.
what's the particular section in
Hindi ko nga
RA
rin alam eh.
7160?
Oo nga, baka pwedeng maklarify lang tayo. Gusto ko lang.
Mike po, Mike.
It's in section 481, number 3, paragraph I.
What does it say?
Section 481, qualification, terms, and powers and duties for the legal officer. Number 3, in addition to the foregoing duties and function, the legal officer shall, paragraph 1, represent the local government in all civil actions and special proceedings wherein local government unit any official thereof in his official capacity is a party, provided that all that in action or proceedings where a component or municipality is party adverse to the provincial government or to any other municipality, a special legal officer may be employed to represent the adverse party. Yeah.
Precisely, ma'am. That's correct.
Pero parang walang impediment naman.
With my
That's correct because when the party involves the local government, the provincial government, it is the legal officer who has the authority to represent the provincial government in courts, government agencies, and other quasi-judicial bodies. In fact, there are several decisions by the Supreme Court that LGUs cannot hire private lawyers when it comes to court representation, as long as there is a legal officer in that particular local government unit. But
That's what I'm pointing out.
yes, when it comes to legal representation in courts,
Yes,
it
yun ang
is the
sinasabi
provincial.
ko, legal representation.
Yes.
But the legislative can hire consultants
Yes, that's why.
to craft the ordinances or whatever mga legal na na
Pwede.
gusto pa nila itanong pa, madagdagan pa yung knowledge nila. But when it comes to representation in court, it is the legal office. Binabawalan na mag-hire ng private lawyer to defend, let's say, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and issues. Yan inalagay sa court. Pag available ang PLO, Provincial Legal Officer, ang legal officer muna. When I was mayor, we have also a case, no? And pag nag-hire kami ng private, it is to be paid by personal funds ng mayor. Kasi available ang provincial prosecutor
Yes.
and there is the provincial legal officer pa. So dalawa yung option ng municipal LGUs para matulungan sila to be represented properly in court. Kaya bawal mag-hire kami ng private lawyer to defend us in court.
That's why I said earlier, Madam, there has to be a delineation. We have to make some distinction between the provincial legal officer and the consultant or legal consultant to be hired by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Because when it comes to legal representation in court, only the provincial legal officer can represent the local government unit. It is not the private lawyer. No. But I think when it comes to the function of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, especially in making laws, ordinances, they can hire a private lawyer for that particular function.
Yes. At saka po, attorney, ang pinag-uusapan kanina is not really representation in the courts. Pinag-uusapan kanina, paghingi ng legal opinions. At nagkaroon ako ng impression na habang pinapakinggan ko sila, na parang hindi kami pwedeng kumuha ng ibang abogado dahil nahandyan ka naman sa mga legal opinions. So, yun naman ang tinatanong ko lang kung may impediment for us to do so. So, yun naman pala, kailangan, ikaw ang mag-represent in the courts. Yes, yun lang naman po din ang gusto kong i-clarify dito. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Ball AJ.
I just want to ask the legal officer, no? Kasi in your AIP po, no, there is a parang proposal of 450,000 for acquisition of additional office equipments, IT equipment, and furniture and fixtures. Ito po yung tinatanong ko kanina kasi na parang need nyo siya pero hindi siya napondohan sa budget. And also, yung conduct the random drug testing to employees of PGOM, regular contractuals and job order employees with the rehabilitation program. Saan po siya papasok dito sa budget nyo? 600,000 po yung nakapropose dito under MOOE. So, yun po ang aking hinahanap dito po sa ating budget ng PLO. So, does this mean na hindi po magaganap yung random drug testing if wala po dito sa budget na proposed?
Is that for 2021?
Po?
2021?
Apo, sa 2021 po, meron po kayong pinopose na 450,000 for acquisition of additional office equipment, IT equipment, and furniture and fixtures. And also another, that's under capital outlay po, yung 450,000. And yun sa MOOE po, meron kayong proposal na 600,000 for the conduct of random drug testing. So, when I look at the budget prepared for PLO, parang wala po dito yung dalawang items na yon, or maski konti hindi na pagbigyan dun sa paggawa ng budget, pero it was included in the AIP.
Well, that's only a proposal subject to approval.
Can I answer that, Bokal AJ?
Yes.
If you review the peace and order plan of the province, there is an item there under the sector of the general services.
Okay.
The conduct of random drug testing. Ano ba yung inaano mo? Yung provincial employees or?
Yes. Yes po. Yun po kasi, dyan po pumasok yung
Yeah, but
proposal.
this is not for the provincial employees, but mayroong mga specific na drug-affected barangays. 26 yan sila. Subjected to drug testing,
So,
and the implementing department is not the PLO, but the PDEA, and the amount proposed is 200,000. This is under the approved peace and order plan.
But this one is for the I think we're doing it annually, yung random drug testing, and when the representative of PLO was presenting to us the AIP, this is done regularly, annually po. So that's my question lang po. Hindi po siya napalagay dito sa ating budget for the PLO, the random drug testing of the employees of the provincial government.
Can we ask andito pa ba si PPDO?
I think si Ma'am Choco yung
Oo. Yung tinatanong kasi, during the AIP presentation, si Miss Ainsa, nandito po siya. So, tinanong natin yung random drug testing. It should be under the implementing agent department, should be the legal office, no?
Opo.
And ang target nito talaga is our employees,
Yes po.
the PGO employees, including JO siguro na regular na or contractuals, But there was no provision for this. Pero doon sa peace and order plan ninyo, meron siyang approved na 200,000 to be implemented instead by the PDEA, and hindi po yung mga employees, but for the 26 drug-affected barangay na tukoy dito. Is it possible that we also include the random drug testing for our own employees?
For our own employees po. Actually po, pre-propose po yun ng legal under the AIP. Nandun mo sa AIP nila. Kaya lang, for some reasons, hindi siya na-budgetan.
So meaning ho, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng
This year, wala.
share, wala?
Because ang effort po nga natin ngayon ay talagang COVID and rehab and recovery. So yung mga ang trust ngayon natin is the economic recovery because of calamities in COVID.
Mr. Chair, isn't it DILG order na kailangan magkaroon ng, meron po bang ganun na issue na we have to conduct random drug testing for our employees? Isn't it, hindi ba ho ganun? Wala ho bang ganun na directive? Wala po bang ganun?
I'm not aware of any circular that
Aha.
should be conducted yearly.
Yearly. So, yun lang po. Kasi we're doing it, I think, yearly as a answer to that. Sige po. Thank you. So, yun lang po ang tinatanong na hindi naman nasama siya sa budget.
So, Chairman,
So, are there more questions with regards to the budget presented by the provincial legal
Wala na po
officer?
siguro.
So, if there is none, Mr. Chair, I move that
One more. May vehicle po ba yung ano, yung legal office? May vehicle po ba? May
Sasakyan yan,
government?
Ortigas.
May,
Wala.
wala po. Pero po bakit po may fuel?
Accountant mo na yung tanong yun.
I-accountant siya. Because,
Accountant mo na yung tanong yun.
Okay, accountant tatanong. Okay. Noted.
Pa-approve mo muna yung budget niya.
Okay na.
Dito Sonia. Wall Sonia. Motion.
Lalagyan ko sana eh.
ang ating ba ano is per office ang approval?
Para mas ano tayo.
Eh kung may mga, okay.
Pwede naman. Kasi
Anyway, the increase in the budget
Per
of
office.
the PLO is minimal, no? And he has presented well the needs of his office so that it can function. Yun lang nga, yung fuel, oil, and lubricants, no? Kasi wala pala siyang
service.
vehicle.
It was for the past year, Tita Bukal Sonia, that Bukal Rebong is paying.
Huh?
It was for the past year.
No,
Na nabudgetan yung fuel and lubricants.
even this year,
Ay, di
may
same.
18,000.
Yes.
There is an increase of 20, in fact, there is an increase of 20,000. Yan at siguro may punto rin si Bukal Rebong na bakit tinatanong yan. Kasi only official vehicles can be given budget, no, for fuel and oil and lubricants expenses.
Accountant, ano
So
naman?
pwede ba kasi ang sabi ni
accountant.
PLO, wala naman siyang vehicle. How come you appropriated 80,000 when in fact it is very clear that only government-issued vehicle must be given allocation for fuel, oil, and lubricants. Bakit
Accountant na
tinaas
lang po,
niyo pa
tita.
from 60,000 to 80,000? Who can answer this?
I think ito po ay parang naging ano nung, kasi I remember na si Attorney Restore before as a service vehicle issued to him. Baka po ito ay kumbaga na-carry over because of the ano na dating merong vehicle.
Yeah, but may rata eh. Complete yung rata.
So-
May transportation allowance. But do you agree that only government-issued vehicle should be provided with this particular item in the budget?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so
Ang hindi ko kasi ang alam ko po is may may naka-assign sa legal office na service vehicle nung kay Attorney Restor pa. So, ang siguro po naging ano doon is kung may babalik sa legal office para mayroon na siyang naka-appropriate sa kanya na
kasi kompleto yung ano niya eh, may rata siya eh. Meron siyang representation, meron siyang transportation allowance. Plus wala siyang government-issued vehicle. So yun lang ang tanong natin. So are you in the agreement that if the vehicle is not government-issued, hindi siya allowed for this fuel, oil, and lubricant expenses? Tama? So, ano yung mangyayari
Mr. Chair.
dito?
Accountant, no? So may naka-MR sa kanya na sasakyan, hindi lang siya yung gumagamit, yan ba?
Carry over
Hindi-
daw. Dating
yung former po na former
hindi lang ilalis sa
legal
budget.
officer po.
Carry over.
Carry over, inano lang. So yung previous PLO natin from previous administration may sasakyan. Nasa issued, sana ngayon ba't hindi naman binigay dito kay Attorney Gas kung meron naman?
We have no direct information regarding that, Your Honor. But I remember that Attorney Restore had an issued vehicle during his incumbency. Hindi, we are not aware now kung saan napunta yung kanyang issued na vehicle na yan.
We take note na lang, Bukal Rebong, and sa GSO natin itanong. O, sige na. Bukal Sonia.
Microphone. Microphone. Naka-on po.
So, kung meron talagang government issued para sa PLO, di hanapin at ibigay sa kay Attorney Gas. So, that magagamit naman siya. And then, that is to justify the allocation of 80,000
Yes,
for the
okay.
fuel. And ano. So, ano ko lang, I would like to extend my gratitude for Attorney Gas for bearing with us, no? With our questions also.
So, thank you po, Atty. Gas.
Hanapin namin yung ano.
Thank you din po. Thank you.
The chair acknowledges the presence of the Honorable Nestor Tria online. Si Doc Chris na po. Doc Chris. Doc Chris, sige po. Start na po, Doc Chris.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat po ng distinguished members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan na present po ngayon. Happy New Year po. Ang tanggapan po ng Panlalawigang Veterinaryo ay handa na po sa anuman katanungan na may babato sa akin patungkol sa aking proposed budget for 2021.
So, Doc, ako nang mauuna.
Salamat.
Dahil sa aking komiteya ay sa pagkakaalam ko, ang usapan natin sa ating baliksigla sa agrikultura ay itong taon na to ay magkakaroon tayo ng switching. Kung namigay tayo ng mga manok dito sa MAPSA area, namigay tayo ng baka sa Samarika. So this, dapat sila ay mag-switch. Ito po ba ang nangyari ngayong pagbabudget ng inyong opisina?
Good morning po ulit, Mr. Presiding Officer. Sa ngayon po, may yung proposal po namin for baliksigla for 2021 ay naisama po namin sa annual investment plan. Sad to say na found out po namin na hindi pala allowed ang charging sa 20% development patungkol sa mga animal dispersal.
Bukal Sonia. Pakinggan mo yung sinasabi ni Doc.
Yan na po yung napag-usapan natin last time na...
So, Doc Chris, ay si budget boy, hindi daw allowed ang sa 20% development fund. So, saan natin yung pinambigay natin ng mga baka nung past year? Oh, sa supplemental nga eh. Pero saan nga nakapaloob? Sa development fund ba?
Okay.
Sige po, budget.
I think ang nangyari po doon kasi iniluwagan nila yung provision for the 20% development fund during
Nung
the
past
time
year,
oh.
Para dun sa grant
extra
ng
fund.
bayanihan.
Sa bayanihan, yes.
So this year, hindi talaga natin siya
Dito po,
mapupondohan.
dito po sa 20% na to ngayon, nagkaroon naman po ng after na all those bayanihan fund, nagkaroon naman po ng changes doon sa 20% development fund na rule.
So pumasok na po
So,
na...
yun po ang gusto ko na pag-usapan namin muna kung po pwede po nating ipasok. Kasi ngayon po medyo maluwag na yung 20% development fund rule eh. Even yung mga ibang administrative matters, pwede natin siyang
So,
ilagay.
ibig
doon
nyo po sabihin, budget ay babalikan natin ito as supplemental sa mga susunod na...
I think pwede po siguro.
Ganun po ba?
Opo.
So, sige po. Salamat po.
But then budget, you have already submitted yung sa 20% ninyo. Yung mga projects, PPAs ninyo for the 20, chargeable to the 20% development fund. Nasa AIP na eh. Naisabit nyo na eh. Nakita ko na eh. So,
Nasa sa ano po ng...
paano ninyo masabi na pwede pa siyang pag-aralan at i-accommodate doon sa 20%? Eh, nakasubmit na nga kayo.
Magandang hapon. Umaga po. With regards po sa annual investment plan at kasi 20% po natin. Matatandaan po natin masyadong restrictive yung MC ng ng 20% development fund. And kung mapapansin po natin, yung budgeting natin, hindi pa na ilalabas po yung bagong MC nung na niluluwagan na yung utilization ng 20%. So yung napasama po natin sa 2021 budgeting, naisabit natin yun by October eh. Kaya po, yung luma pang MC ang ginagamit namin noon, kahit po hindi sila napasama. Ano po, yun po, ang doon. Pero, merong mga projects, sagad, especially, kaya lang po, nutrition-based ito at maliit lang, na for livelihood, na, ilan na? 4M, maliit lang po talaga. For nutrition, ito eh, na livelihood, at sila po, iyan po, may access ng PIVET at saka ng OPA.
Well, ganoon rin, no?
Pero with regards to yung katulad sa yung ginawa natin sa Bayanihan Fund, yung recovery and plan natin from COVID, economic recovery plan, ay wala pong naibigay ngayon sa ating figure.
Mr. Presiding Officer,
Olson.
kaya maganda rin na hindi inahari yung pagpasa ng budget kasi nahimay-himay natin. In fact, you're saying na marami pang mga bago na mga nilalabas na mga guidelines as to the utilization of the 20% development fund and other funds, So, sa akin lang, tama yung ginagawa ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan na we really give time to review our budget and not to put it in haste. So, kasi napaka-controversial yung approval ng budget na ito eh. Wala naman tayong ginagawang masama, kundi sinusunod lang ang ating dapat na mga gawain. So ngayon maraming lumalabas na medyo na-overlook natin kasi maaga natin na i-submit. Pero naaayon naman eh. I agree na October dapat na i-submit ko ng executive. Pero hindi naman pinupuwersa dapat ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Kung kailan nasa tingin nila mahimay-himay na maayos at mabigyan ng sapat na pondo ang dapat ang bawat departamento at ang bawat program, actions and activities and plans na pinopropose. So meron ding advantage, di ba? Kaya yung mga sinasabi ninyo na lumalabas ngayon, ay there is still time na ma-accommodate natin yun kasi nasa review pa tayo. Eh kung ipinasa na natin yun ng madalian nung last year at may mga bagong mga guidelines, adi back naman tayo sa palagi na lang request for realignment, request for change, di ba PPDO?
Tama po yun. Isa sa mga advantages nitong nangyari ngayon, looking backward in retrospect, ayun nga, kaya nga lang po ang dito is lumabas hindi yun overlook eh. Yung lumabas po talaga yung guidelines na tapos na ang budgeting. Kaya nga nagtatawanan kami, sayang kung naibigay sana, nailabas ng DIL dito. Nung nandun pa sa process ng budgeting, nagamit ho sana natin. So yun lang po, hindi siya na-overlook, hindi talagang late na po dumating. We are mandated to submit the budget before October po. Oo. October 15. Kailan lang lumabas po ito, yung kanyang November na po lumabas as per So there's no way po talaga na isama natin to sa 2021 budget. Yung MC ng DILG at saka DBM.
Mr. Chair.
Sige, Honorable.
Mr. Chair, I noticed in the budget of the Provincial Veterinarian's Office that there's no allotment for a job order for the whole year. 0. Bakit po kaya ganoon? But in 2020, you proposed I think in 2020 you proposed a big amount for the job order, but yet in 2021 wala pong JO kayong i-hire?
Meron po, board member. Meron pong naka-program base po siya. Hindi po siya makikita dito sa...
But anong program
AJ,
po yun?
Bukal AJ, nandun siya sa special...
LPP form
sa
number 2.
special purpose appropriation, yung 143 million na under sa social, yung job order for 46 person times 12 months amounting to 1.863 million. Tama po ba?
Yes po.
Yeah.
Bakit hindi niyo po siya i-under sa office niyo? Bakit kailangan sa special program niyo siya ilalagay?
I think sa lahat po ng mga departments, yun na po napag-usapan na lahat po ng mga job orders ay kailangan nakalink sa program. So, yung 46 sa GOs po namin ay
Pero po yung program base na yan, you will be using them for the whole year. Why not put it inside your budget of your office? Kasi like, for example, what specific program is that?
Provincial Veterinary Quarantine Services.
Oh, yeah. I mean, di ba?
Sa mga checkpoints.
Sa mga checkpoints, no? And then, we can assume that the whole of 2021, you'll be using that. Yes. Why not put it in your, why not put it in your office's budget?
Can I?
Yes.
Sir, under the system po natin ng budgeting, nilagay lang po natin sa program. Practically, kanila pa rin po yung budget na yun.
Yes po.
It still falls under the budget of the PVET. Kaya lang po, we put it on the program para makita po natin kung magkano yung costing ng program. Pero if you will look at the form number 2A, it is still under the office of the PVET. Kaya lang po, nakasegregate siya kasi it is mandated by the Budget Operations Manual that all the program-based PPAs po ng department should be segregated into another form.
Okay.
Pero basically po, this is part of the office appropriation ng PVET department.
So for the PVET,
Yes.
kumaga appropriation, may appropriation siya. Hindi niya lang siya sinama dito sa...
Hindi lang po siya kasama doon sa Form 2. Nakalagay po siya sa Form 2A. Pero this is part and parcel of the appropriation na ibinigay po sa PVET.
Tanong ko lang sa PBET, no? One of the proposed ninyo na ang objective ninyo is to restock animals at Morta in Santa Cruz Breeding Station to support the livestock dispersal program. Ito ba sa Baliksigla Agrikultura natin na nalagyan ninyo ng stock or dinisperse nyo lahat?
Madam, dinisperse po namin. Wala pong napuntang animal stock sa breeding station. Hindi po kasama sa mga recipient ang breeding stations po natin. So, naka-propose po siya, separate po dun sa animal dispersal. So, wala po tayo dahil hindi po inalaw yung, I think ang procurement po ng animal stocks ay kasama po sa capital outlay. So, hindi po siya naisama for 2021.
Years ang propo, 20 to year 2020 to 2022.
Miss,
So bakit hindi ninyo na, supposed to be ang breeding, very important yan. Kasi it will raise the quality of the, ano tawag ito? Boar man, anong inaano nyo dyan? Yung baka o baboy man dyan? Or
Artificial insemination for
goat,
swine.
no? So how come na hindi nyo na-realize? In fact, you are dispersing na nga eh. Dapat inuuna rin ng sa atin.
Yes, madam. Actually po, nakapropose naman po siya po every year. But then, sa prioritization po ng mga ina-allow ng budget, hindi po siya napapasama. So, lagi po siyang kasama sa capital outlay, yung procurement po ng animal stocks.
Mr. Chair.
Honorable.
Mr. Chair, I just want to ask no, yung sa travel expenses natin, local traveling expenses natin. 2020 was proposed to be 467,400. We allowed it because we know that of course the PVET is a type of office na puro nasa field.
Yes.
Tama po, no? But are you allowed to charge from this line item?
Appropriation.
Naka-claim ba talaga ang mga field officers nyo ng travel?
Last year po, sir, hindi po lahat ng mga traveling namin ay nabigyan ng traveling expenses.
Bakit po kaya ang laki ho ng inyong budget for that? That's
May memo, Bukal AJ.
Nasa
May
ano po
memo.
siya? Nasa
Anong memo?
May memo.
Ano pong memo
Budget.
yun?
Bakit daw budget?
Anong memo?
Yung memo ng DBM, alam ko, no travel. Dahil sa COVID.
Pero
Hindi,
nagpandemya nga, pero patuloy pa rin ang trabaho ng ating mga empleyado sa pag-travel,
yung trabaho
pagpunta
nga nila
sa...
ay hindi na i-charge.
So hindi siya charge?
Hindi kayo nakaka-claim?
May mga na-claim po kami, pero hindi po lahat ng activities namin ay na-allowed po ang traveling expenses.
So saan na-charge yun?
Saan po na-charge to? 467,400 kung hindi kayo pinagcha-charge sa travel. Kasi ito pong opisina nyo is a field office talaga. Yung mga empleyado nyo nasa field. I mean, inutusan nyo papunta sa iba't ibang bayan, ganyan. Pero, nag-budget tayo, pero hindi na-charge ng traveling expenses yung mga empleyado nyo. Mga JO, mga... Diba po? Parang unfair. Binadgetan namin knowing that your job is on the field lagi. And you're entitled to that. You're entitled to claim traveling expenses because you're on the field. Even if there's a pandemic, you're doing your job. So you have to, we as the SP budgeted that for your office, pero hindi nyo nagagamit. Saan po napunta yon?
Sir, may mga times po kasi na hindi po talaga nalagyan ng ang approval is from the Office of the Provincial Administrator. Sila po ang nagde-determine kung allowable ba yung travel.
Ang provincial administrator po ang nag-aalaw kung chargeable ba o hindi? Parang ganun po?
Previously po, sir.
Wow.
Blanket authority.
Bakit ganun?
Mr. Chairman,
can you answer that po? Kasi we allow that certain budget to be
utilized by the certain office.
On the certain office, knowing that their office, actually this is a very big budget, no? Pero we allow this because we understand the office is always on field work, always out, always traveling to different towns inside the province, but yet they're not charged. This item was not charged to them. They cannot claim their traveling expenses.
Sir, can
Sige po, budget. Sige.
Okay. So because of the several memos po kasi from the provincial task force, we are not allowed to travel because of the pandemic.
Yun nga.
Ang ginawa po natin dyan, ang nagdesisyon po ang executive na is-supplemental natin a large part of the traveling expenses. It is one of the sources na kinuha natin for the various supplemental na ginawa natin. Definitely, kumbaga practically po nawala yan sa mga departments because it was decided na gamitin natin as source of fund for the supplemental for the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
ang nangyari po dyan, hindi po siya nagamit at dahil hindi rin po allowed naman na mag-travel ang mga empleyado because of the virtue of hindi po tayo nakagalaw talaga during the past several months.
Pero po, gumagalaw pa rin po yung mga empleyado. Nagpa-function pa rin sila as even may pandemic po, lalo na yung pivot.
Meron po silang charge na doon sa border control na lang. But not po doon sa routinary ng kanilang
So,
office.
may memo po bang lumabas niyan? May memo pong lumabas na bawal mag-charge? Like for example,
hindi po bawal mag-charge pero there is a prohibition on the getting out of the employees. Kaya nga po nagkaroon pa tayo ng memo na naka-skeletal force tayo. Hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-travel kasi nga during the time iba-iba po ang classification ng mga munisipyo.
Pero I understand that was just a few months from the start of the pandemic. Pero this last few months of the year,
Like bare
parang
months.
bare months, we're operating as if we're really operating as hindi
Kaya
na
nga po, during the
skeletal,
time-
hindi na di ba?
During the time po na later part of the year, nagamit na natin yung funding.
Okay.
Dahil sinupplemental na natin.
Na-charge po ba, Doc Chris, na-chargean po ba ng mga empleyado niyo yung traveling expenses nila?
Sabi nga po ni budget, later part po ng last year quarter,
May natira ba?
exhausted na po, I think, yung
Exhausted na kasi na-supplemental na siya.
yeah.
So,
They assumed na hindi na mag-travel for the whole
All
year.
AJ, ang dapat itanong na lang natin, ilang percent of the traveling expenses na budget nila ang nalipat sa supplemental?
Oo nga. Ilan po?
Ilang percent po?
Mr. Chair,
Mandali lang.
pagkatapos.
Hindi ko po ma-determine sa ngayon po
kasi-
kung yan yung na-transfer namin.
Kasi
Pero, considering po yung may mga lumabas po kasi na kailangan mag-procure ng mga COVID materials for preventive materials kaya ng mga face mask, vitamins. I think yun yung mga nakapag-realign po kami, sir, dun sa pondo na yun na napamigay namin doon sa ating mga nasa quarantine. Face mask, alcohol. So, hindi po kasi kasama sa na-budget yun last year eh. So, naghanap kami ng mga pondo na existing pa na pwedeng pagkuhanan.
Okay.
So, I think yun yung mga isa sa nakapag-realign po kami. Na-allowed naman po. Na-allowed naman.
Na-realign.
Na-realign.
Allowed na realign. Pero yun nga, I've been getting feedback kasi na yun nga, correct me if I'm wrong po, no? If there was a memo issued na when you're traveling within the province, you cannot charge the travel expenses. But previously, we were allowed. Like for example, I think I'm not very familiar with the radius from your
56, I think 56
home
kilometers.
office. Parang meron po bang ganun, 'di ba?
56 kilometers.
Paano po, 'di ba po before may kunyari ang station mo is Mamburao, when you're traveling to San Jose, you can charge a certain amount, tama po ba? But ngayon wala na po ba yan? Last year wala na pong nangyaring ganun?
Within the province tayo bukal pesos ang ating rate and outside is 800 pesos plus equal traveling expense fare.
Pwede po yun, no?
Ito naman.
Pero yun nga po, na-charge ba talaga siya last year for the, let's say, we understand, the first few months last year was really strict, no? We didn't allow travel, but during the Burr months, we functioned as yung hindi na skeletal. We were the employees were tasked to go to different municipalities na as if yung regular function nila. Does the employee, can an employee claim? Nakaka-claim ba sila talaga ng travel? Kasi yun nga ho, ang naintindihan ko, parang hindi na yata sila ina-allow na mag-claim? Like for example, a Mamburao employee would be tasked to go to San Jose. Hindi na pwede.
Ang sa pagkakala po namin po is wala naman pong gano'n na issuances. Depende nga po yun sa... Kasi
Pero
ang mga,
kailangan dumaan kay Ma'am Muriel para payagan yung charge.
nasa recommendations po yun ng department head na alam mismo nung necessities nung pagtatravel.
Pero po
ng
ang
kanyang-
last say si Ma'am Muriel pa rin if pwede siya ma-charge o hindi.
Ang requirements po kasi is the LCE or his representative as the authority to approve the traveling
Travel expense.
Yes.
So madami rin at disapprove. Madami. Okay, noted.
Then,
Okay, bukal.
well then,
Okay po.
sige po.
Good morning. Naririnig ko naman. Pivette, good morning.
Morning po.
Back to the budget, no? Parang wala ka namang masyadong increase. 204,000 lamang naman.
Actually, kung titingnan po natin, napunta po yung increase namin dun sa pag-hire po ng, proposal po namin hiring of 46 JOs.
Okay.
So, dun sa aming mga programs, wala pong masyadong increase.
Oo. Yung issue ba kanina, na-hamper ba ng kawalan ng traveling ang operations mo last year? Nagkaroon ba ng impact on how you operated your office? Pero this year, meron ka na.
Last year po, even allowed or not allowed to claim, ginagawa pa rin po namin yung aming
Okay, thank you.
trabaho.
Ang query ko lang naman sa PIVET, meron po ba kayong mga livestocks doon? And what are your program, projects and activities this year na plano nyong ipatupad with this budget?
Regarding po sa mga programs, I think yung monitoring po ng special project for Balik Sigla na dinistribute natin last year. So, maganda po yung continuous yung monitoring, and yung pong nabanggit po kanina about dun sa GAD na meron po kami share ng Office of the Provincial Agriculturist na 4M para po sa nutrition program ng province. Livelihood assistance na merong nutrition package po siya. Then, yung pong ano pa rin po, tuloy pa rin yung ating quarantine services sa ating 3 checkpoints sa Magsaysay, Abradilog, at Tilik, Lubang. So, yun po yung isa sa mga malalaking portion po nung PPAs natin na may malaking funding requirements. Kasama po ng maintenance nun, syempre tao, at then yung mga disinfectants, mga spraying equipments, at kung i-allow na po yung kung hindi na po masyado maghihimay-pit, pwede pong makakollaborate na natin yung Philippine Carabao Center at saka DRFO sa artificial insemination sa mga large ruminants. Pero ganun pa man po, kung mahigpit, kung hindi pa rin po sila makakarating, tuloy pa rin po yung pre-deworming and vitamin injection natin sa large ruminants sa mga backyard raisers po natin.
Okay, pero...
Vaccination program sa rabies, kasama pa rin po siya.
kasama pa rin
Yes,
yan.
ma'am.
Pero yung murta po natin, yung breeding station,
Breeding station.
may
So,
nagbinibreed kayo?
So sa ngayon po, meron po tayong mini-maintain na stocks ng DRFO doon na baka po.
Ilan pa po?
Think nasa ano na po sila, 9 heads po sa ngayon.
Madami na.
So may ilan lang po na piraso ng kambing. Then the rest po, yung ating breeding station sa Santa Cruz po, supposed to be re-revive, pero wala pong pondo. So hindi po siya napasama.
Okay po. Thank you. Okay naman ako sa budget mo. Thank you, Pipet.
Sonia.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Tanong ko lang kay, sa ating provincial veterinary. Out of the budget authorized under the Balik Sigla program, under the implementation of the provincial veterinarian, Ilan ang naubos niya ba lahat o may natira pa?
As of today po, fully implemented na po yung dispersal loan. So, dispersal loan po sa baka sa ating mga kapatid na katutubo, 140 heads, amounting to, I think, 6M something. And then, for distribution po yung ating layer and broiler chicks and chicken. So, target po namin end of this month, ma-i-distribute na po namin. Medyo nagkaroon lang po ng konting delay sa layer kasi kailangan pa po, naka-schedule po na ma-release yung mga pinalaking pullets. In-order po kasi yun in-order last year, nakaubusan ng stocks. So, available po yung stock sa third week po ng January. So, yun po yung target po namin na magkaroon ng distribution.
Okay, Beth, ang ating criteria for the cattle dispersal, puro katutubo lang ang bibigyan.
Ano pong criteria niya sa cattle dispersal?
Remember last time,
Sa DA galing yun eh,
bago
yung cattle. Sa
Hindi po.
Sa balik sigla, 17
natin
million.
yun.
Ang ating condition last time na you furnish us with the criteria. Parang hindi nyo nagawa. Ano bang criteria? Okay, if it is IP lahat, IP ba lahat? Kasi I have information na hindi IP ang binigyan niyo lahat. Meron ding mga hindi IP. So, I am just asking, what were the requirements or para ikaw mabigyan ng cattle dispersal, nagiging beneficiaryo ka?
Madam, I think kung mababasa niyo po doon sa project proposal, naka-incorporate na po doon yung yung mga yung mga recipients po, pati yung criteria na. So isa sa mga priority po doon ang mga IPs nga. Kasi po kasama na yung pong in-address kasi doon yung pong sa LCAC areas. So
can we have a copy of the recipients? Can your office furnish us a copy of the recipients of the cattle dispersal? Is it possible for you to provide us?
No, noted po.
How soon can we receive that?
After po ma-consolidate po namin yung mga names.
How soon? 1 week? 2 weeks? 1 month?
Within this week po, madam.
Okay. Thank you very much at aasahan namin.
Yes. Mr. President.
Paul Michelle.
Yeah, kanina, Doc Vet, nabanggit mo na nakapag-disperse na tayo ng 140 na baka.
Heads po na baka.
Sa IPs.
Yes.
So ngayon, may pinopropose kayo uli na magpo-procure tayo ng 350 heads. Nasa last page, 350 heads. Procurement of 350 heads ng Brahman cattle for 7 IPs. Nahirapan ako. 7 IP tribes. At saka procurement of 350 heads native Carabaos. So ito ay continuation ng last year kasi nakapag-disperse kayo ng 140 last year. So another 350 ang ipoprocure natin.
Meron pong dito. Yung pong nagkaroon lang po marginalized sector, hindi lang po din siya generic siya.
Etong nandito kasi ang gusto ko lang linawin like yung sinabi ni Bukal Sonia kanina, yun na nga, maganda na makukunin namin yung mga yung mga kino-consider nyo how to be a beneficiary kasi nga may lumilitaw daw na hindi lahat IPs lang naman ang binibigyan. Kasi if you will divide this, 350 heads, so 50 heads per tribe kasi we have 7 tribes. So, ganun ang distribution nyo talaga. Nangyayari yon na per tribe ay 50 heads ang binibigay na cattle at ng kalabaw. So, 100.
Nagkulang lang po ng dito. Actually, siya. 7 IP tribes slash marginalized sector. So, pwede.
Okay.
Nagkulang lang po. Nagkulang lang ng...
okay. Dito sa marginalized sector, nakalagay sa native Carabaos. Pero dun kasi sa Brahman, hindi na ilagay. So, typo error lang ito.
Pwede po kasi siyang sa marginalized sector. Hindi lang po siya particular sa...
Kasi, hindi. Yung sa taas kasi, yung sa Brahman cattle, walang slash marginalized sector. Doon nyo lang linagay sa kalabaw.
Hindi acceptable explanation. Kasi that was what you submitted to the SP. Yun ang inyong mga beneficiaries. So, yun ang binigyan namin ng authority at pagpapayag, Pibet, no? Sinabi ninyo 350 para sa 7 tribes at 50 per head. Wala ninalagay ang marginalized eh. Hindi na namin kasalanan yun kung
Sa
nakamali
Katel.
kayo because that was the authorization given to you. 50 heads per 7 tribes.
Yes.
Sa Carabao, walang question kasi nakalagay
Naka-slash
doon
marginalized
But it's not for
sector.
you to say na nagkamali lang. Kasi yun ang sinubmit ninyo in
Sige po.
person. So, I expect 350 names of IP.
Yes.
Authentic recipients coming from the 7 tribes.
If-
So, within the week, okay?
Madam, if mapopondahan po siya, actually, ito po, ito din yung binabanggit ko kanina na proposal namin
For this year, yeah.
for this year sa
For this year.
20% development fund charging. Pero hindi nga po allowed ang animal dispersal sa
Oo.
20%. So, I don't think na...
Ito ay for this year naman, malinaw
Tayo
naman.
baliksigla ninyo.
Tapos,
Yes, madam.
Ilang heads yun sa baliksigla ninyo?
140 lang po.
Okay, so...
Yun lang po ang
Yun yung
po
last
inabot,
year.
yun lang po inabot nung budget.
Okay, so 140 beneficiaries. Sige.
yes. Tapos,
140.
kasi itong tulong panghayupan sa kamangyanan, pwede pong, ano to? Kasi ito tulong na rin yung Kalabaw Cattle. Anong hayop naman ito? Same
po
kasi
itong
nung halaga doon sa Kalabaw at sa cattle.
May mga iba pong livestock commodities like native na kambing, native na baboy. So general po itong title ng program. Then kung mapopondohan po, saka po namin lalagyan ng ng specifications.
Pero Doc Vet, sure, IPs lang talaga to. Hindi yung na-omit na naman na slash marginalized sector kasi baka
Yes.
ma-question na naman kayo. Oo, paki-check po. Sana na double check nyo, sayang yung sa cattle. So yung cattle dyan magiging exclusive sa IPs lang. Kaya nga sabi ko, tinatanong ko dito kay Bukal Jun, ito bang 50 na to? Ano bang to? 5M ba to? 50K? Kasi ang mahal-mahal lang cattle.
Hindi ba? Sorry. LBP form. Kung makikita po natin dito sa nakita ko na po yung explanation niya. Kung pagbabasihan po natin sa AIP, meron po nakalagay dito na page 20, I think at 10 po, page 10, yung pong mga programs po, yun nga, na-charge sa 20% development fund po, yung dalawang item, yung distribution po ng Brahman cattle and Carabao, amounting to 20M po siya. So yun nandito po sa LBB form number 4, yung 50,000 po na nakikita nyo, hindi po, yun po yung mga yung mga gastusin sa seminar, sa traveling expenses. Madam, ito po kasing LBB form number 4, ito lang po yung talagang may existing na budget kami. So, portion nung 50,000 po ay kasama po yung traveling expenses ng mga personal na gagawin yung program, fuel, Tama. Nasa EIP po. So kung mapopondohan po siya, yung 50,000 na yun po yung operating expenses ng office for traveling expenses, fuel.
Kumalat kasi yung 50K, parang lahat na entry nyo. Yung 50, nandun lahat. Anyway, pakiclarify na lang yan, Doc Vet. Pakiklaro, pakiayos. Tapos may tanong pa ako. Yung sa consultancy services nga, so 66,000 last, although maliit lang naman yung figure, 66,000 last year, how come ngayon naging 10K na lang? Ano ba tong mga ginagastos nyo na ito? Ay baka mag-aabono ka ng 56K dito, batch?
Medyo hindi nga po malinaw sa akin 66,000, pero...
Kasi 66K ang consultancy mo last year, tapos naging 10K ngayon. Baka mag-abono ka yun, batch?
Yung 10,000 po notarial, I think ito yung notarial, notarial fee.
For this year, yan. So, last year 66, ano po iyon? Napakaraming yung pinanotarize last year, kung ganoon.
Hindi po malinaw sa akin itong 66,000. Wala po, previously wala ka talaga kasi kaming consultancy services. Contract of service po yun. Hindi nga alam kung bakit may nag-appear dito. Pero kaya po kami naglagay ng 10,000 para po yung mga binabayaran namin na notarial fee ay ma-reimburse po. Dahil nagiging ano po siya, gastusin po na hindi na-reimburse.
Okay. Eh, ba't hindi mo alam yung 66K mo?
Hindi.
Pakiklaro, buti nga nag-review talaga tayo uli. Tingnan mo, ang dami-dami pang... Paki-double check na lang, ha?
So, Chairman,
If there are no more questions addressed to the provincial veterinarian, we thank him for attending today's budget deliberation for his office, and also express our gratitude again for answering with sincerity all the questions by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan member. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much din po.
okay, with that we will have a recess until 1:30 this afternoon.
So 1:30 po.
May I ask whether